Whenever me and my brother were little, I think it was even like a school night, I was already in my pajamas. And when I was like, hey, get in the car, we gotta go. And I'm like, oh, what's going on? So he took us down to Main Street. So right after they finished the project where they have the nice like blue pillars with the white lights on the side. I remember when that project first finished, they let my dad be the person to drive his Mustang on it. And so it was me and my brother running around on the road with him, driving down on the car, and was seeing that excitement on my dad's face of this is something I did to help the community. This is something that I did to give back and make a better day. So it's something that's kind of stuck with me, I think, now to say where obviously that spark for engineering, but then also this is why I'm motivated, is to give back and help others and just see that end result of people being excited with what we're doing. Growing up, my dad worked as a civil engineer for the City of Las Cruces. And so I remember just as a little kid, he'd always be taking me to the job sites and we'd get to see different features throughout the city. And so it really sparked me to want to pursue a path in engineering. So because I chose mechanical and aerospace, kind of like gives that opportunity for him to, see something different and make sure he knows that I'm doing something I enjoy and something that makes me happy, not just trying to please someone. So, and he loves get to hear about this, all the different work I do. And every time I come home with a new project or something exciting, he's the first one I want to tell about it. The very first thing I was able to do was join Mini Baja. My first engineering position was in this lab, in the nonlinear dynamics and energy harvesting lab, where I was doing research for Los Alamos National Labs. I was working on additively manufactured parts. After that, I started to work for Lockheed Martin as a systems engineer. I started working 2 engineering positions on top of going to school full time. So at that point, I was working for Johns Hopkins remotely, working for Lockheed Martin in person, and going to school. And after that, I took a semester off working for NASA at the White Sands test facility. So I was brought on as what they call an OSTEM intern. That finally brings us to now, where I started working with Sierra Lobo Incorporated. Cherry on top is starting last semester, I was designated the team lead for my senior capstone. I'm very intrinsically motivated, and so it's just getting to see your final output on the project. I can sit down and say, yeah, even though I'm just a small piece of this giant science mission, this is something that may not have gotten off the ground if I wasn't the intern that got selected for that position. Now I think it's also kind of coming to fruition where you start to see your rewards. Just starting getting close to graduation, I've been designated as the outstanding graduating senior for the Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering Department. I've also been designated as having the highest honors for the College of Engineering. At this point, when you start to see these accolades coming in, it's very motivating because you have that kind of like a sigh of relief where all the hard work you put in is finally paying off. And so I think that's the biggest thing I do it for. But for me, it's just very, very motivating just to have those projects be done and say that I was a part of it. And whether I was the lead or just a small portion, this is something that reflects on me. I think the biggest thing that I always like to mention is the fact that Earth is finite. The Earth doesn't care if humans are here. If we run out of resources, if there's a global catastrophe or something, it's going to go on, but we won't be here. So with that being said, I have the luxury of being on the forefront of planetary exploration and being able to be a component of that. With that involvement, it allows me the opportunity to say that this is necessary, because one day we're not going to have resources on Earth. One day we're not going to have enough space. One day we're not going to have all these luxuries we take for granted just because you kind of get caught in that loop of, oh, it's the day-to-day, it's not really my problem. I'm fine now. What does it matter later? And so I want to get out of that, and I want to be able to say that I left an impact on the world. And if I can test these missions and be the person in that role, then I can sit down and say, I had a successful life, and it was fulfilling at the end of the day.
My name's DeAngelo Maestas, and I'm an Aggie engineer.